Well, shouldn't you dress for the job that you want? Shouldn't you walk with confidence like you own the company?
Sure, but I don't think I think dressing, you should walk and dress if it's your truth. Let me tell you about walking and dressing the part when it's not really in your head.
Okay.
You lose with the people that matter. I smell those fuckers out in a second. You're gonna come in to a business meeting with me and fucking in a Ted Baker tight suit and smelling all fresh and looking all the part, and I ask you 2 questions and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about? You've been exposed, bitch. So I don't care. I don't give a fuck what you're wearing, right? Mm-hmm. You could come in with Bape and fucking Kid Robot and fucking Supremes and Off-Whites and walk in and somebody asks you, what do you think about Mixed by Ali, and you don't have a sense of who that is? You've been exposed. So I don't care what you're wearing.
Yeah.
I don't care what you're wearing.
It's about what you think and what you're saying.
It's what you know. It's what you do.
Yeah.
Like to me. Anyway, my guy. No, I don't think that people should dress the part or walk the part unless they are the part, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want. I think it's a facade. I think it's makeup. I think you're about to get exposed.
Yeah.
And so
Snapchat filter.
And so what happened? And my man, you know what's interesting about it? Where people get tricked is it works on tricking losers.
How so?
People that aren't thoughtful and are also not winning actually then think you are winning. So the reason it works for a minute is it works on other losing players. It's like complaining. Yeah. You know why I hate complaining? The only people that listen to you complaining are other people that are complaining.
Right. Yeah, it's a dead end.
So you're one little fucking circle jerk of fucking losing.
Of losing.
Listen,
bro.
It is. I do what I need to do. Like if I wake up this morning, I'm like, yo, I miss my friends, or I miss my kid. Like then I'll do it. Like I don't judge myself. I just live. Like everybody's judging and everybody's letting other people, it's like parenting. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got their 2 cents on parenting. You don't know my kids. You don't know me. You don't know what we're about. So I think people are just letting other people's opinions. So work-life balance, real easy. I do what I want. Yeah. And as long as the 5 to 9 people I give a fuck about the most are cool with it, then I'm good. I'm not worried about somebody like, I love when people are like, oh, Garyvee, you can't take the money in the grave, or you're not gonna be happy at 90 that you were in the office all the time. You're a fucking idiot. Of course I'm gonna be happy. I love it. I love it. Yeah. I'm happy. And if you're happy laying on the beach your whole life, then go lay on the beach.
That sounds so good.
But when you can't hear them, it doesn't matter. When you've got self-esteem, when you've got good intent, when you know you're a good person, when you don't give a fuck about people's 2 cents, you know why I put out so much time? I can't hear them, but it works both ways. Let me explain this. I can't hear so I post something. First comment, you're full of shit. You're about you. You're a fucking snake oil salesman. You're a charlatan. Can't hear them. Next post, Garyvee, you're Jesus. You walk on water. You've saved my life. Can't hear them. You can't hear them both ways. You can't pick and choose what you hear.
Okay.
Got it?
Okay,
you got to stay in your own game. If they're telling you they're greatest of all time, or if they're telling you you're the worst, you can't hear them. And when you get to that place when you can't hear them, then you start making content. Then you start living your life for real. It's just like high school. Remember in the beginning of the high school, you're worried about everybody's opinion, but then kind of by senior year, you got your clique.
Yeah, you're good.
You don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get everybody in real life to get to the place they were in high school the last month of high school.
Gary, is everyone a business?
Everyone has the potential to do something now because of the way the internet happens.
Sure, everyone has an audience.
But look, your business might be you've always made honey. Right? Like your family came from somewhere where they had honeybees, and you came to America and grandma's still making honey in San Fernando Valley. Right. And maybe that's your business. And guess what? Maybe that's $80,000 a year in selling honey on Instagram and Shopify. And guess what? That's amazing. Like to me, everyone's a business because I think everybody can make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month by buying and flipping stuff on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. Yeah. And I have a funny feeling let me rephrase, I know there are millions of people who could use an extra $500 a month.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Whether that's paying a bill or whether that's going to a nicer hotel when they go on their one family vacation. And so I'm trying to shake people up and be like, yo, this is real. But if you're gonna sit and dwell how you've been wronged or why it's not for you or that your aunt stole your car 9 years ago, like everybody's looking back, right? Mm-hmm. And looking back fucks with your neck.
Who turned you into this guy? Did something turn you
America and my mother.
Your mom?
And adversity.
What did mom say?
Mom said you're the best, but when I did wrong shit, she punched me in the face. I was born in the Soviet Union. I didn't come up with much. So adversity, America my mom and my dad, because when I was 14 and started working in my dad's liquor store for $2 an hour, I was so full of shit. I had all this, right? And he sucked it out of me over 10 years because he hates lying and bullshit. And so he scared me. I was scared to embellish, let alone lie. So a lot of the natural bullshit that I think I came with, which makes me a showman and gets a lot of the stuff that people are like, okay, is this guy for real or completely? I think I get it. I don't get upset when people are like, yo, this guy's full of shit.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I understand. I actually had that in me, but my dad systematically took it out. So look, when I asked my mom for Sega Genesis, she said, go buy it. You know, when I was 7, it was lemonade stands. It was ripping people's flowers out of their yards. It was shoveling snow. So the hustle, the grind, the environment, and great parenting put me on. And
Do you have to be born with hustle, or is that something you can pick up later on in life?
I think hustle, look, I think this has been figured out long before all of us. There's your DNA and there's your environment.
Sure.
I think if you've got nothing, you have to learn how to hunt. If you grow up in the hood and nobody's feeding you, you figure it the fuck out. And so I think hustle is absolutely something that's teachable. And I think it comes from lack of entitlement. You know, a lot of times I talk about the advantages of adversity. And people are like, yo, fuck you, white privilege and all this stuff. And I'm like, I get it. But please understand, you know how to hunt, and the internet's here now. And the internet doesn't care who you are. You can get yours. If you've got the rogue kind of like DNA to go to Goodwill and flip shit, to wake up at 4 in the morning and stand in line and get 3 pairs of sneakers, to go garage sailing, to go on Craigslist and pick up something for $30 from a free section and flip it on Facebook. Like, if you've got that, if you're not fancy, if you're not worried about what other people think, well, then you're gonna win in this new era, because the internet eliminated the middle that used to suppress you, and now you can get yours. There's so many people I know that make $40,000 a year and love life, and so many people I know that have 40 million in the bank and hate life. And everybody's saying like, cool, I'll take my chances, I'll be 40 million. I get it, but guess what? That's what the 40 million person's saying too. Like, damn, I wish I wasn't born into this trust fund. People aren't listening. And so eventually we're gonna start analyzing mental happiness, and everything is gonna start changing. And the reason I talk about materialistic things, it is the Band-Aid and the makeup of unhappiness for 95%. The other 5% just genuinely have the money and love camouflage and love that designer, and just like, they're a very artistic person, cool. But man, stuff is makeup and Band-Aids for unhappiness. Nobody who actually made it on some luck shit. I don't even talk, even the people that like Instagram, people are like, yo, what about Instagram? That dude did it for like a year and a half and made a billy.
Yeah.
You don't know Kevin Systrom then. That dude was in the game. That dude went to Stanford and fucking put into work, networked, Google, like it was in the culture for a decade. It's like artists. You know how it is, somebody pops and I was like, oh, like, yeah, I get it. Once in a while, you know, Lil Yachty can do something in his dorm room and fucking pop quick. I get it. But people win the lottery too.
Sure.
Like, there is people that win the lottery, but for the 99.9999% of us, like, you got to put in the work. Everyone's like, oh, Garyvee. I'm like, don't oh Garyvee me. For my 20s, from 15 to 30, I didn't go anywhere on the weekends. Nowhere. Who did that? Who worked 18 hours a day for fucking 15 years like I did? Who left college on Friday afternoon to take a bullshit Amtrak down and not even the Acela, stopping every which way on the East Coast, to then get into Jersey, Woodbridge train station, and then drive to the liquor store, work 2 hours, then go home, sleep for 6, and then work all day Sunday, and then wake up all day Saturday for 13 hours in that liquor store, then wake up Sunday, right, and go back to Boston to go back to school, while everybody else was fucking hooking up, fucking having fun, living their college life. So don't oh Gary me, you don't know me.
Sure.
I fucking worked every minute of my life. I believe in optimism. Right? But if you don't back your optimism or manifestation with fucking work and smarts, nothing is gonna. I can manifest that I want to be the quarterback of the New York Jets, which I would love to be. But if I'm not 6'5", 6'4", and can throw a cannon arm and fucking threw 80,000 footballs between 9 and 18, I'm not going to be the quarterback of the New York Jets.
Gary,
so,
I hate to break it to you, man.
Fuck.
Your football career's been over.
It's been over. You're right. And by the way, I hate to break it to everybody on Instagram right now that has entrepreneur and manifesting it, playing 2K for 3 hours a day and smoking blunts, your career's over too. So it comes back to self-awareness, my guy. There is no one path. The only path is like, do you know yourself? And more importantly, that voice inside your own head, a lot of times people don't understand that that was put in your head. A lot of people, when I'm like, don't listen to anybody but yourself, I'll get that DM. They'll be like, yo, I love that. My problem is I'm telling myself I suck. And then I have to DM them like, yo, you didn't. Like, that isn't you. That's your mom or dad that put that in your head. And now you believe it and you think it's your own voice.
Yep.
Nobody starts off thinking they suck.